Well, it's quite windy out here, but let's get the next victim into the shop. Here we go. We got it into the shop. A couple of you guys may notice that this car has been in the shop before, but didn't stay in here very long. I had a buddy that has a V6 that is having a lot of problems with wiring, and I tried to build a standalone harness with this car, which is a V6 Toyota Camry, and well, it's a Solaire, so it's still a Camry Solaire is what they call them on the owner's manuals. But I ended up frying the computer because I got a couple wires mixed up because I was tired and it was dark. So as of right now, this thing has a fried motor. It is a manual 5-speed V6 car. My original intent with this car was to actually enduro this car. And the reason why I wanted to enduro it is because these V6s are actually quite fast. But this one's got some issues. Issue number one being she has 580,000 miles on it. Well, kilometers. So that converted to miles is, I'm going to say around 360, maybe 340 off the top of my head. I'll break out a calculator. 580,000 kilometers is 363,000 miles. Still a lot for a car. We ended up picking this up about a 3-hour drive away from my house, but it was on Kijiji for quite some time, but the problem was nobody wanted to go and get it because of how rotted that driver's side fender was. And realistically, not a lot of derby guys want to run a V6 manual. So we were able to get it for quite cheap, and that's why the drive was totally worth it. But now the motor doesn't run. It's going to need a little bit of work. What I'm going to do with this is I'm going to try to figure out what V6 parts can be put inside of a 4-cylinder. Now, what I mean by that is, if any of you guys have ran a V6 Toyota Camry or Solaire, you'll know that these passenger side axles they're very strong. But when they break, they're horrible to change. Because of how the axle goes into the coupling here, you're not able to pull it out. What you actually have to do is you have to change all the way from the spindle, and then the axle goes through a motor mount, which you cannot take the axle out of, so you actually have to remove the back motor mount, and it goes all the way into the side of the transmission. So basically, when these go, it's a lot of work. It's not a simple job to easily replace this. You basically, if you break a passenger side axle on a V6, you have to basically take the back motor mount out. A couple of my friends have actually done this, and it is not easy. It is a big job. Like, it's not a job I really want to do to a derby car, changing motor mounts to change an axle. So we're going to put a 4-cylinder into this car, and we're going to experiment around to see what you guys can do to change this V6 axle in a factory V6 car. I want to see if 4-cylinder parts will go into the V6 transmission. And the whole reason for this is, one, because I'm curious, and two, if it can help you guys just change one part, and then if it breaks again, you just do it that way instead of pulling it all out. I know a guy that broke an axle, changed the rear motor mount to put the whole axle in, broke the axle again, and then the car was still fine, but he had to scrap it because he didn't want to do the job again. So, we'll see. I'm not too sure. That's about it as of right now, but let's get a walk around about this car and see what we're dealing with. So here is our V6 motor. Now, one reason why I really do like these Solaires is because they come factory with this tower-to-tower bar. So I really like those tower-to-tower bars. The V6 motor is going to be pulled out of this car quite quick. I don't really like the V6s, and now that I have a stockpile of 4-cylinder motors, we will put this in. The motor that is going to be going into this car is actually from the Toyota Camry wagon that you guys seen me take apart a couple episodes ago. Now, some interesting things to note on the V6 models is, you see where the rad cap is? That's right, the rad does not have a filler cap, so I am not able to run a V6 rad inside of a 4-cylinder unless unless I put an inline filler into it. Some other notable items that is a little bit different with these V6s is down here, the 4 cylinders have that motor mount down there just fine, just like that. But these V6s have an extra subframe to motor shock absorber of some kind. Now, I have seen this on quite a bit of other cars. This is I'm not too sure what this is, to be honest, but I'm not really sure how I'm going to use this, or if it'll be an extra motor mount when I have a 4-cylinder in there, or if I'm just going to absolutely delete it. I'm not 100% sure on that as of yet, but we will figure that out. Like I said, nobody really wanted to buy this car because of this fender. I haven't done a full overall look of this whole car yet, but as far as I can see, I think it's just this fender. Like, the rest of the car doesn't look bad. Maybe it was in a fender bender at one point in time, and they changed it. Full leather interior. It'll be fun ripping this out. Yeah, so I'm not entirely sure what the story is with this car. It did come with a street racing ticket, as you guys may remember. We need to come up with a project name for this. That's all I'm saying, is that we need a project name. Here's the plan. Oh, yeah, I forgot to tell you about that. The alternator is seized, and there's the belt. It burnt right off of it. I went to start it. It had a real hard time turning over. Just ended up burning the belt right off of her. Brakes. There's no brakes on the back of this car. I'm not sure if it's the back or the front, but it has no brakes. So we will be dealing with that as well. But, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. The motor that will be going into this is going to be a little bit weird, if you guys may say. So, what the motor is that we're putting in is this one. This right here is the one out of our wagon. Now, this one here is a 91 to 96 body style motor, which means it has a distributor on it. So I'm putting an older motor into a newer car. So that might come with its own set of problems, I'm going to say. But I won't really know until I start doing it. I'll probably save as many parts off this motor as I can. I don't really know what's going to be interchangeable. I'd like to see a lot of the differences between the manuals and the automatics. Apparently the V6 automatics are a lot stronger transmission than the 4 cylinders, which makes sense, but apparently they don't bolt up together. So this is going to be a big learning curve for me, and hopefully for you guys as well. So I guess I'm going to start stripping her down. Throw them into another vehicle. Let's get stripping, boys and girls. Well guys, this motor is just about ready to come out. We have the upper motor mount off, we have all the wiring off, we have the heater core to the inside, we have that dealt with, throttle cable, all the shift cables because this is a manual, we have the air conditioning out of it, we have the rad out of it. Pretty much this car is ready to drop its motor. But it's not going to happen today. Well, as of right now, it's ready to go, but there's something that we still need to do. We need to come up with a name for this car. So, I don't know. We have a rotted fender, we have a dead V6, we have a manual transmission that we're not going to use, so it's going to be a 4-cylinder automatic by the time we're done with it. It has 0 brakes. I don't know. Why don't you guys come up with some kind of cool name? Just so you know, the name does not have to be anything about the car. All it has to be is a cool, catchy name that goes with the car. So, let me know down in the comments what you guys think. And thanks for watching. We'll see you guys back here tomorrow.